Russia rising following the Allied strikes on Syria. The White House now confirming President Trump is open to meeting with Vladimir Putin, but demanding a drastic change from the Russian leader.
Here now to weigh in is the Toby Professor of Foreign Policy at Carnegie Mellon and Fox News foreign policy analyst, Kyron Skinner. Thank you for joining us this morning. So if and when this meeting happens, how do you think this should go down?
If I can just give a little context to that important question. When we look at Russia in the 21st century, we see a nation that's on the outer rim of the community of free states and really the whole international system. At the end of the Cold War, there was great hope that Russia would join democracy and freedom and those nations that believe in it and strive toward it. That's not where we are now. And what Donald Trump said as a presidential candidate and what he hopes to achieve now is to try to bring Russia back from the brink of really international chaos. And I believe a meeting between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump would be about trying to find areas of cooperation that will make the world safer and that will really begin to help Russia engage with the West.
I think you made a fair point there. You know, a lot of people have always alleged this collusion between them because the president doesn't like to say bad things about Vladimir Putin, but I do think he's trying to really get that country to come along with us and not be just such a mischievous figure in our world. Let's look at the actions, though, that this administration has put against the Russians because they have been pretty hefty. We've had a number of diplomats expelled, a number 60 at this point. 7 of the billionaire oligarchs that are surrounding Putin have been hit with corruption sanctions, 12 companies sanctioned, 17 senior government officials sanctioned, and this was all well-deserved for the election meddling and for the things like supporting Bashar al-Assad in Syria. I want to ask you, why does Vladimir Putin stand so strongly with somebody like Assad? What does he want out of Syria?
It's a broader issue of not just Syria, but being back in the Middle East. In the 1970s, in the early 1970s, Russia was basically expelled from the Middle East, and the United States became the broker for Middle East peace negotiations for all kinds of scenarios. Russia wants to be in the game. And Syria is a pathway for Russia to be in the broader Middle East. The problem is that Syria is in the 7th year of a civil war, which has become a quagmire. It is no platform for Russia to really expand its influence. It does have 2 military bases in Syria, but it's not turning out to be the kind of forward platform that would allow Russia to compete with the U.S. on the diplomatic front in that region.
Just a couple of seconds ago, Rob, you talked about the sanctions that have been put in place already, and yesterday we talked about the possibility of perhaps another round of sanctions. The White House walked that back a little bit yesterday. How do you think President Trump is handling Russia so far?
I think it's a difficult, one of the most difficult scenarios for him because in the background there's the Mueller investigation and all of the false charges around Russian collusion, which have not been proven between the Trump campaign and various Russian operatives. So there's all the noise on the one side, but really I think in a way he's able to kind of navigate and work around that noise by focusing on making Russia pay for its malfeasance in the international system. You've already mentioned, the 3 rounds of sanctions that have happened in the past month or so against the Russians. So I think focusing on how we can clarify in the United States for the Russians what their malfeasance will be from Crimea, which we haven't talked about, all the way to the Middle East. That's what the president's doing.
Dabbling in Ukraine as well. He backed off the sanctions. He's trying to get the meeting. We'll see if that all happens. Thank you so much, Kyron Skinner.
Thank you.